Well, we are back to the scene of the most amazing race we had last season. Welcome to Manicourt for the French Grand Prix in France. And may I say, it's very overcast today, but we've been told we're going to have zero rain for the race. It's a Jaguar on pole with the two arrows and the Jaguar, and away we go. It looks like a very good start for Bertie, but Ralf Schumacher cuts him off, so Ralf Schumacher keeps hold of third place. Bertie goes slightly wide onto the grass, but I think he's going to keep onto the track. Yes, now we go around a very fast turn 2, pretty much double apex turn 2. Now, last season I remember saying it's very difficult to overtake, but we saw what happened last season, so let's find out what happens as to go down towards the hairpin. Frentzen gets his nose in front of De La Rosa. Is the overtake going to happen, or we remember what happened last season? Loads of cars span coming towards the chicane, and De La Rosa has been passed. Heithold Frentzen takes the lead of the French Grand Prix. Already the Jaguar has been beaten off the start. We've not said that very often this season. There's Michael Schumacher in 5th place in the Ferrari. Rubens Barrichello 6th place for the other Ferrari. And then we have Alonso in 7th place, Toyota, with his teammate 8th place in the other Toyota. Button 9th place with Diniz. First point scored last time out, making the most of it, but he's got Fisichella directly behind him. Cool Fighters in 12th place. I can guarantee none of these will finish in the order that I'm saying them in. 13th was, I don't remember who was 13th. 14th was Weber. Panis was 15th. Trulli 16th. Raikkonen 17th. Young in 18th. 19th is Hakkinen, and 20th is Lazy. So Lazy's already hit trouble with, I presume, Hakkinen. What's going to happen here is Lazy takes a dive bomb going into the fast chicane, has a half spin. He's easily recoverable from that. Not sure which chicane that was, and that's De La Rosa going back into the lead of the Grand Prix. He retakes the lead from Heinz-Harald Frentzen. He's got to be careful now. Frentzen, he's got to have Ralf Schumacher coming up behind him. They all break towards the hairpin, and no side-by-side action at the moment. Going down towards the fast right-left chicane, the cause of so much trouble last season. There's a few spinners out last season around this corner, none at the moment. Still De La Rosa holding on to his lead. Frentzen, Schumacher, Bertie. There's your top 4 with Schumacher and Barrichello 5th and 6th for the 2 Ferraris. And it's the 2 Toyotas, we presume. That looked like Frentzen was having a little look down the inside of De La Rosa. He's definitely looking down the inside of De La Rosa around this corner. That's not usually an overtaking place, that corner, because it's coming straight off a fast corner. He's going to have the inside line going down towards this hairpin. It's not a hairpin, it's chicane. Frentzen, and is he going to? No, he isn't. Frentzen is still in 2nd place. De La Rosa keeps hold of the lead as they go down towards this first corner again. Round this so theatrical Grand Prix. Already De La Rosa takes the outside line, cuts Frentzen off. It's a fantastic battle between 1st and 2nd place. We've not had this very much this season between 1st and 2nd places. It's Jaguar versus Arrows. Is Frentzen going to have a look down the inside of this hairpin? Yes, he is. Is he going to make the overtake stick? He's in front. Frentzen is in front. Frentzen takes the lead again of this French Grand Prix on lap 3, I think. We're already on lap 3. I've already lost count of the laps. Frentzen takes the lead again. De La Rosa in 2nd place. Ralf Schumacher holding back. Maybe thinking that these two are going to crash into each other if they keep battling like this. Lazy looks like he's got back up ahead of Hakkinen. As we see on the standings, 19th and 20th place. I'm losing track of what's happening in this race at the moment. Is going absolutely crazy. Michael Schumacher's in 5th place at the moment for the Ferrari. 6th place is Barrichello in the other Ferrari, with Alonso 7th and Salo in 8th place. So the Toyotas are still 7th and 8th place at the moment. and now everything is going to be calm for a little bit, which gives me time to recuperate and relax until we get back into the first sector, and I know it's going to go crazy because it usually does. Top 9 look like they're pulling away from 10th place man Fisichella, with 11th place Diniz losing ground to Fisichella. Looks like the top 9 will be the top 9 as it stands unless anything happens. Coulthard 12th place in the McLaren looks like he's trying to tee off a move on Diniz. Diniz looks like he got a very good start and is holding everyone up. And Coulthard goes back into the tow. Is he going to have a look down the inside of the hairpin? The answer is he gets a nose up in front. It's enough for him, Diniz, to have to take the wide line, and Coulthard takes the 11th place spot away from Pedro Diniz. And through the fast chicane, there's Sato in 13th place in the Minardi. 14th place is currently Webber in the Sauber, and 15th place is Trulli with Palace in 16th place. This is the train that Diniz has created. As you can see, right at the corner of the picture, Coulthard was pulling away significantly from Diniz. There's Raikkonen and Young. Looks like Young is still struggling to pass Raikkonen, a lazy 19th place in the Renault. He's quite slow at the moment, but not as slow as Hakkinen in 20th place. Is he going to cause troubles for the race leaders as he usually does? Nez De La Rosa, he's actually got back into the lead at some point of that tour around the track. All this battling means that they're not even pulling away from the Ferraris like they should really. But there's Frentzen coming up towards the hairpin. This is his favourite overtaking spot. Clearly he's going to have another go at De La Rosa out this corner on lap 5. It's another change for the lead. Frentzen has gotten ahead of De La Rosa. It's like they've changed lead every single lap so far. At this rate, De La Rosa is going to win this race by simply the fact that it's going to be the final lap for him to overtake. There's been 5 changes of the lead at the moment. Frentzen led from the first lap. And it's been De La Rosa and then Frentzen and De La Rosa and then Frentzen again in lap 5. Down towards the another fast chicane, and then it's towards, this is a very weird overtaking spot for Frentzen to try and overtake. He couldn't put it off down towards the next left right chicane. Or it's right left right chicane, I'm sorry. De La Rosa had a little look down the inside of that corner, but nothing doing there. And there's Ralf Schumacher going down towards the pit straight, down towards the first corner. Bertie and Ralf Schumacher just staring into the distance, seeing if anything happens. De La Rosa looks like, oh no, Frentzen's actually covered the line. So De La Rosa got a very poor exit around that corner as well. So he's going to have to look out for his mirrors rather than trying to overtake Frentzen, as Ralf Schumacher is going to close slightly, but I don't think, no. De La Rosa has a little down the inside of Frentzen, which makes Ralf Schumacher not be able to overtake. But look at the train that these guys are in, between 1st and 9th place, I think. I think Trulli is in the back of that lead group. Not Trulli, Button, it's the other Jordan that's in the back of the lead group. So quite the train that Frentzen is creating at the moment. I don't think it's Frentzen being slow at the moment. I think it's them two just fighting and creating some sort of train, which actually might lead into the hands of the Saubers and the one stop. And this is another overtaking from this corner. De La Rosa is trying to overtake Frentzen around this corner, but he's pulled back in. For now, he's going to have another look, but no, Frentzen's got the line around that corner, and it's actually a first lap without a change of lead. Now Ralf Schumacher is going to, this is going to be a brilliant shot of the cars going down the straight. There's De La Rosa second place, sorry. It's Frentzen takes the wide line, Pedro De La Rosa takes the short line, but goes into the inside line for the apex, the normal racing line. But De La Rosa got a very good exit off that corner compared to Frentzen, but he's not close enough to try and overtake. Is he going to send one down the inside going into the hairpin? Yes, he does. Is Frentzen going to yield? The answer is yes, Frentzen is going to yield. De La Rosa takes the lead again of the French Grand Prix on lap 7. And Frentzen is now not close enough to try and challenge, but look at the train. Look at the train that's happening at the moment. There's Schumacher, Barrichello. We have Salo, Alonso, and there's Jordan at the back of Jenson Button. Going to try and capitalise on anything that might happen up front. We saw what happened last season. Even though De La Rosa still won last season, he's the defending race winner of this track. But we've still got another, I think it's 17 laps to go in this track, so anything could happen. There's Coulthard. He's been caught up by Sato, and it looks like Diniz is actually, either Diniz has let everyone through, or actually Diniz is back in front of Coulthard, interestingly. So unless Coulthard was pulling away from Diniz, so not sure how Coulthard managed to end up behind Diniz again. Wants to go down the back straight. We're going to recuperate and catch our breath. There's Panis, 16th place, still in the tail end of that train. It looks like it's a Coulthard train at the moment. Young is quite a distance away. Raikkonen is still behind Young. In fact, Raikkonen and Young are in their own battle over 17th place. Young cuts Raikkonen off. Lazy is quite far back in 19th place. 20th place is, of course, Hakkinen, who's going to be getting close to being lapped, I would have thought. Is Raikkonen going to send one down the inside of Young? It's very nice to see the back markers get some camera time, especially with all the action that's happening up front. Raikkonen, easy overtake on Young. He's takes 17th place. There is Lazy, and Hakkinen 24, 25. Hakkinen's actually in the pits, so he's going to actually be out the way of most of the leaders. There goes Frenson's in the lead. And then we have, where's Hakkinen going to come out of all this? I think Hakkinen is, or there's a Lazy's already been lapped by the looks of it. I think I just saw his name tag has been lapped by Frentzen, De La Rosa, Ralph Schumacher, and Bertie. Now is De La Rosa going to send one down the inside of Frentzen? The answer surely is going to be yes. Yes, he is. Is he going to overtake him? Yes, he is. It's another overtake of this track. All the overtake has been done by the first two guys. None of the others are trying to attempt to overtake. Got a good exit around that fast chicane. The gap is currently 3.5 tenths. And there is Ralf Schumacher in third place. Ineos again waiting to capitalise on any mistakes that these front two might do. Expect the first round of pit stops to happen around about between, I say, now and lap 11, lap 12 maybe, going into lap 13, 14 for maybe the one stoppers. Might go a little bit further into lap like 15, 16. So is anyone going to dive into the pits in this lap? Not from the front three, and not for Bertie. Schumacher, no. Barrichello, no. Salo, no. Alonso, yes. Alonso's the first out of this group of cars to go into the pits. And it looks like a Jordan is ready as well, and so is the BAR, and so is the Ferrari. Ferrari obviously for next lap, because both Ferraris have already gone past. Alonso changing all four tyres away. He goes. There goes Hakkinen. Hakkinen's going to be in front of Alonso still, it looks like, so Alonso's going to have to go and pass Hakkinen on track. There's Fisichella. He's actually ahead of Fisichella. Fisichella, I think, has already not pitted. Button was the Jordan that was going into the pits. We're on lap 10. There's Salo, Barrichello, Schumacher, Bertie, and in the front three. It looks like De La Rosa has managed to keep hold of the lead of Frentzen at the moment, as they go towards the fast chicane. Ralf Schumacher, there's Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Looks like the arrows are going to get ready for a pit stop. De La Rosa in the lead at the moment. And down the short straight, down towards the left, right chicane complex is one of the Jaguars going to come into the pits as well. And there is De La Rosa going into the pits. So Ralf Schumacher inherits the lead. Barrichello's in the pits as well. So The reason why them two are in the lead because they were a little bit lighter. It's a fight between Jaguar and Arrows. They're right by each other in the pit lane, remember. Who's going to come out on top? All 4 tyres being changed in the Arrows. Fuel hose is already off. De La Rosa is already out of the pits. Frentzen having to be held up a little bit by De La Rosa. Frentzen keeps hold of in front of Barrichello. Now, is these lot pitting early going to affect things? They're all in front of Hackenden, which is very important. Alonso's actually nowhere to be seen, meaning that I think the overcut's working charms at this track, meaning that it might actually be bad news for these that have already pitted. There's Michael Schumacher in 3rd place in the Ferrari. Bertie's in 2nd place for the Jaguar, and 1st place is the Arrows of Ralf Schumacher. Are any of these going to be pitting on this lap? At the moment, none of the pit crew are ready for a pit stop. Oh, the Arrows are coming out. The Arrows are coming out for a pit stop. There's Ralf Schumacher, who's ready for a pit stop. The Arrows are coming out. The Jaguar still has not come out of the pit box. Up there, they're coming out now. It's a very late call for the Jaguar team. There's Bertie. It looks like Michael Schumacher has he carried on? No, Michael Schumacher looks like is in the pits as well. There is Michael Schumacher. It looks like, I'd presume, the Toyota's in as well. So it's again a battle of the pit crew. But Ralf Schumacher has the advantage of being in front of the track. There goes Ralf Schumacher. Bertie, 9.4 second pit stop. Is Ralf Schumacher going to inherit the lead? The answer is, remarkably, yes, Ralf Schumacher has inherited the lead from De La Rosa. De La Rosa looks like he might have just squeezed in front of Bertie. No, Frentzen. Frentzen is in 2nd place. De La Rosa was behind Frentzen. There's Frentzen. De La Rosa is in. It's an Arrows 1-2. The Jaguars of De La Rosa and Bertie are both behind. There's De La Rosa. Bertie just behind. I must have missed Frentzen coming down the pit straight. So both the Arrows and Bertie's going to come straight clean down the inside of Pedro De La Rosa. Pedro De La Rosa had a very poor corner coming off of Adelaide. There's Sarlo. Sarlo goes into the pits. Oh no! That Sarlo I don't know what just happened, but Sarlo has crashed into the pit wall and is out of the Grand Prix. Maybe this will. He's going to crash it straight into there. I have no idea what's happening. Maybe he misjudged where that wall is, but that's Sarlo out of the race. Unluckily for the Toyota, because they were heading for a very good they're heading for 7th and 8th at the moment. And that's Trulli out of the race without a rear wheel, and Sato without a front wheel. So something's happened between Sarlo and Trulli. It's going into the 2nd corner. I think Estoril. Oh, that's Sato going down the inside of Trulli, and that's just not going to work. And there is a lazy for the Renault. And Young in the Minardi, 15th place. Dennis, 14th. And there's Coulthard, 14th place for Coulthard. So what's happened to Young then? Young just goes straight on at Adelaide and crashes into the... Oh, hello! That's quite the accident for Young. He managed to clear that wall and managed to end up over the other side. That's quite the accident for Alex Young. Hopefully he's alright. He's managed to end up at the other side, right by Le Chateau. And there's Raikkonen in 11th place. Viticello is in 10th place. And Button 8th place now because of Sarlo's retirement. There's Alonso in 7th place there, going down towards Nürburgring chicane. It's a right-left chicane, sorry, is Nürburgring, round 180. And Bertie has managed to catch up to the Arrows. In fact, Ralf Schumacher has lost the lead to Frentzen and Bertie, and that's devastating news for Ralf Schumacher, because they were in the battle with They're in the Bertie and Ralph Schumacher are both in the same stop. So is Frentzen and De La Rosa. De La Rosa's in 4th place currently. Bertie look down the inside of Frentzen, but Frentzen keeps hold of the lead. He's notes the lead right back. Well, I can't remember what lap we're on. I think this is in lap 14, so they have 11 laps to go. Bertie in 2nd place. Yeah, we're going on to lap 14 here. Bertie's in 2nd place, going down towards Estoril. Turn 3, he's got the inside line. Frentzen didn't cover it. Frentzen down into 2nd place. Bertie takes the lead again. 2nd place, Arrows. 3rd place is the Arrows of Ralph Schumacher. This is quite a ding-dong battle between the top 4. I love it already. Down towards the Adelaide hairpin. Frentzen nowhere near enough for Bertie. Is he going to have a... No, Bertie has a good exit. Down towards Nürburgring. Fast right, left chicane. Down towards 180. And this is not an overtaking spot. There's a lot less spins happening. Now we're doing through turn 11. Down towards the Imola chicane. Another fast right left chicane. Gear 4 for this chicane, and then Chateau hairpin is a gear 1 corner. It's one of the slowest corners apart from Adelaide. And it's down towards the right left right chicanes, where the pit entrance is to the left. It's a very peculiar pit entrance. And then down towards the start finish straight. That's pretty much a lap round manicure from the point of view of Frentzen. Ralph Schumacher in 3rd place in the Arrows. Pedro De La Rosa, he's got the best view of the house. Ralph Schumacher. Frentzen side by side with Bertie. Bertie shoves Frentzen out the way, but Frentzen still has the line. He should have the line going down towards the Adelaide hairpin, but he goes back into the toe. Frentzen pulls out. Is he going for the overtake around the Adelaide hairpin? Yes, he is. Frentzen retakes the lead again in the 15th lap of 26. In fact, there's not 24 laps, there's 26 laps. I wish there was more than 26 laps, because if this is going to happen all race, I want to see more action. Round 180. Round the right left, a very fast right left chicane. Who's not even really corners in the dry, down towards Imola. Pedro De La Rosa we're on board with here in the Jaguar, who has one. There's Barrichello in 5th place. The Ferraris are keeping up, but they're nowhere near to overtake. De La Rosa is the best seat of the house, pretty much. If the top 3 are just fighting. Alonso's actually fallen back quite a lot. He's 6 seconds back. So is Button in the Jordan. They're nowhere near. Fisichella's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. 20 seconds and 13 seconds. There is the Sauber of Raikkonen in 10th place. Coulthard right behind. I don't think the Saubers are going to score points unless something dramatic happens. Webber in 12th place in the Sauber, with the 13th placed man of Panis in the BAR 13th. Then there's 14th in the other BAR. They look like they're not going to be scoring any points for the BAR. There's a Lazy in 15th place. And Hakkinen is just is a very poor McLaren car for Hakkinen. Bertie defending heavily from... Oh, that was very close. That was very, very close. Frentzen nearly had his front wing taken off by Bertie. Tried going for the overtake of Nürburgring. That was just never going to happen. And they're about to come to lap a Lazy going into Imola. And this is Chateau coming up to a Lazy. Very slow around Chateau, obviously. 19th place. That Renault is not very good handling wise. Is Frentzen? No, Frentzen couldn't get past a Lazy. A Lazy, is he going to get out the way? I don't know. Frentzen's barged his way past. Now is a Lazy going to get out of the way of Ralph Schumacher? This might be very rough going into corner 1. De La Rosa has to brake heavily going into turn 3 of Estoril. Oh, he cuts a Lazy off very dramatically. Now Michael Schumacher is going to be held up by a Lazy a little bit. This might have caused the front 3 to... Oh, Barrichello gets through very easily. Barrichello had the easiest part of getting through. maybe apart from Ralf Schumacher, but disappointingly that's actually let Bertie take quite the lead as he managed to get through at Chateau, whereas the other two had to get past going into the final corner down the pitch straight, although Frentzen has caught up very quickly to the back of Bertie. So maybe lap 18 we might see another change of lead. Currently we have Jaguar 1 and 4. There's Raikkonen, in fact. Raikkonen has just pitted. He's going for the overtake. Frenzen's going for the overtake at Chateau. There's not going to be surely any room at Lychee to try and Frentzen sticks. He's still got a nose in. Oh, they've touched wheels. They've touched wheels. Frentzen, oh, he's hit the barrier. Bertie's hit the barrier. But I think that he's survived and Frentzen takes the lead going round the Lychee chicane. That's unbelievable. Estoril now for Bertie. He has to take. It took a very wide line. Frentzen. We're going down towards Adelaide. Is Raikkonen going to get out the way? Get out the way, Raikkonen. He's out the way. Thank you, Raikkonen. We want more action. Down the Adelaide. Bertie has a nose in. And he's side by side with Frentzen going down towards Nürburgring. But Nürburgring, and I'm running out of words. Oh, it's so close. Bertie had a little look down the inside of the right-hander, but Frentzen keeps hold of the line and Frentzen keeps hold of the lead. Going round 180 down towards Imola. Goodness, I've never known action like it. It's amazing. Imola chicane now. We've got 7 more laps to go of this. I don't know how much more I could take. Bertie has a look down the inside of Chateau. Is he going to do what Frentzen did, or is Frentzen going to get a very good exit? Frentzen got a very good exit. Is Bertie going to try and outbrake Frentzen? He tried to, but I don't think Bertie's going to have no. Oh no! Frenzen's banned. Frenzen's been hit. Ralf Schumacher's in second place in the arrows. Bertie takes Frentzen out a little bit, and that's one of the BARs coming out of the pits. Oh no, Bertie's got a 2-second lead now because of taking Frentzen for a little spin. Frenzen's got a very good run out of Estoril. Is the Ferrari's going to get involved as well? And no! Oh no! They've taken all of it, took each other out! The 2 arrows and De La Rosa have taken each other out! Going down towards Adelaide! That's the 2 arrows. What? That? This is where it all started. Bertie spinning down. Take little touch from Frentzen by Ralf Schumacher, sorry. And now they're all there's a BAR to the left. We don't need to worry about. That's Dines. We don't need to worry about him. Now go around Estoril. De La Rosa takes a very poor line around Estoril, meaning that Frentzen can get his nose up. He's got his nose. He's not got his nose up in front. Ralf Schumacher. There's Ralf Schumacher in front, and I don't know. That looks like it could be another one of De La Rosa's fault. He was turning in. Barrichello had to take avoiding action. It looks like De La Rosa was turning in to maybe overtake Schumacher. Didn't realise that Frentzen was going for the overtake, and all three of them are crashing into each other. They're all out of this Grand Prix. That's spoilt the whole of the front, because now Bertie is far ahead, 2.7 seconds ahead of the 2 Ferraris now, second and third place. Barrichello takes Diniz round the outside. Barrichello had to take avoiding action of that, so he's now dropped behind Michael Schumacher. But now we don't have much action. That also has massive implications to the world title, because the Arrows had such a lead in the Drivers' Championship, and Bertie's going to take a full 10 points if things stay as they are. meaning that Bertie might take the lead of the championship. Arrows have such a big lead that Jaguar needed De La Rosa. Button's inherited 4th place out of nowhere pretty much. Though I think that Alonso's going to inherit 4th place. Where is Alonso in this? He might be down here. There's Alonso. Alonso back in 4th place. 5th place for Button. 6th place is Fisichella. He's been in the middle of nowhere pretty much the entire race, and he's now in 6th place. We're on board with Alonso going down towards Adelaide. There's Barrichello in 3rd place. He's made his final pit stop. There's Schumacher 2nd place in the Ferrari. And Bertie is now far in the lead. Well, 2.8 seconds is the lead. And such drama has happened in this race now. The three of the championship protagonists all take each other out. If I had to caution the blame on someone, and I don't like cautioning the blame on someone because it's not usually someone's fault, surely, I reckon it's a racing incident, because it looked like De La Rosa was looking into the inside of Ralf Schumacher. He was unsighted. Frentzen was going for the overtake as well, and De La Rosa moved to the inside, but Frentzen already had that line. But if I had to put a driver's fault, it was going to be De La Rosa for cutting into Frentzen's line, but I'm going to put it down to a racing incident. But we still have a motor race going on here. Coulthard 7th place in the McLaren, but the McLaren boys are getting ready for a pit stop. Fisichella is in 6th place for the moment, and that is Diniz, parked up to the left side of the road. He looks very good for more points than Diniz, but he's not going to get any points. How unfortunate. And there's Luciano Berti. Inherited the lead. He got the lead by to be honest, he instigated the whole thing by taking Frentzen out round this very hairpin as he goes on for another lap. There is Schumacher, 2nd place in the Ferrari. There's pretty much got to be no action at the front now because they've all taken each other out. This Barrichello is going to be quite close to Schumacher, probably not. Especially with how far the Ferrari are down the pit lane. We see the ticking going 7. No, Michael Schumacher is going to be well ahead of Barrichello. Though Michael Schumacher now has to overtake Hakkinen again. So that might cause a few heartaches down in Maranello. Especially with how the Finnish McLaren drivers usually act in races. They're usually a magnet for crashes. There's Berti going around 180 on the 22nd lap. There's 5 laps to go. It's a lot more calmer now. I can actually get my breath back and not get lost for words. It's amazing. I've never known like it. Anyway, Berti going round Chateau down towards the Lychee right, left, right chicane, but it looks like the Jaguars are ready for Berti, and in goes Berti. There's no pressure really on the Jaguar boys, just literally in, out, and it's going to be quite a simple surface. All full tyres changing for Berti. Fuel hose is already off, they don't need that much fuel, and away he goes, the Brazilian. Looking good for his 4th race win of the season, I believe. And into Estoril, looks like Schumacher is not close enough. He's actually in front of Raikkonen, and I think that might be a BI out there. Panis, which is lucky because they're in a battle of their own. But Michael Schumacher has to overtake him. There he is. You can see the 2 back markers in front. There's Barrichello. You can see Michael Schumacher in front of him. Alonso. Again, you see the Ferrari in front. Button. We might see a bit of action between Button and Alonso because it looks like Button is a little bit faster than Alonso at the moment. There is Hakkinen trailing his sluggishly slow McLaren around the track. Fisichella goes and starts his 23rd lap. There's Webber. I said earlier that Sauber aren't going to score points. They're actually going to score points now in 7th. 8th place is Coulthard. 9th place is Panis, and 10th place currently is Raikkonen with a lazy in 11th. Hakkinen's in 12th place, and he's actually the last racer still on track. All the rest of the guys have retired as Hakkinen holds up Alonso a little bit. We might see a bit of action for 4th place between Alonso and Button. If Button can get past Hakkinen, he's easily past Hakkinen. Are we going to see a little bit of action? 4th place, Alonso. We've got Button bearing down on him as they go through turns 1 and 2. Double apex pretty much down to Estoril. Double apex Estoril. Oh, Alonso shuts the door very late on Button. Button doesn't get a good exit down towards the Adelaide hairpin. And is Button going to send one down the inside? Yes. Yes, he is. We have overtaking again. Button, is he going to... Yeah, he takes 4th place. Alonso weaving left, weaving right. Trying to look for a gap to send one down the inside, but Nürburgring's not an overtaking spot. And round 180... Depends how good you are at Nürburgring, you might be able to get a inside line. Turns 10, 10, 11, they're not really corners. They're pretty much flat out down towards the Imola chicane. Turn 4, a little bit of braking for the Imola chicane. Gear 4 corner, down towards Chateau. Alonso sends one down the inside of Button. Run lap 24, we've got action between 4th place Alonso and 5th place Button. Alonso down the inside of Button. He's still got the inside line down to Lightsheed hairpin. Is Button going to do... He's inherited 4th place from Alonso. Rounds turn 1, turns 2 into Estoril. Is Alonso going to take the wide line again? Button. No, he isn't. But Alonso learns his lesson, shuts the door on Button. And now he's half a tenth clear of Button, going down towards Adelaide. Button's not going to send one down the inside here. On the penultimate lap, we've got the catching up to Raikkonen. The Raikkonen and Panis battle, but it looks like it's not much of a battle. Panis looks like he's overtaken Raikkonen. He's far down the track, but Raikkonen could lend a hand to Button, shall we say, and try and hold up Alonso. Although Alonso's got a very good exit out of 180 and overtook Raikkonen, and Button is now a second behind Alonso, so it's going to take a very good set of corners from Button to get close to Alonso. Realistically, he needs to gain a second on him at Light. He's gained a 10th on him round Chateau. But we've got Barrichello 13th, Schumacher 13th. Barrichello, I've lost it now. This race is I've lost it. We're on the final lap, thank goodness. I'd say thank goodness, but I think it's thank goodness for my, own will, being, and health. I mean, we've had loads of action. We've had overtakes galore. We had 3 of the top 4 take each other out at Adelaide. We had action upon action. Button has overtaken a lot. I wouldn't think he would gain a second, but Button managed to gain a second out of Alonso. Down towards 180. Alonso, this is going to be a ding-dong battle at the end for Alonso and Button. Are we going to stay on him, or are we going to go to Bertie? Are we going to go on to Bertie as he crosses the finish line? I don't think we're all going to go to Bertie, because these two... Oh, we are going to go to Bertie. He's very fortunate to win, but a win is a win. Luciano Bertie wins for Jaguar Jaguar wins for the second year running. It's going to be a Ferrari 2-3. Schumacher in front of Barrichello, and Button has managed to keep hold of 4th place from Alonso. Alonso 5th place for the Toyota team. Then we've got a huge gap towards Fisichella, and Webber is going to finish in 7th place. He's going round. He's only just going around the Nürburgring hairpin. And Panis is already going to be finished because he's already been lapped. Coulthard also already been lapped, and so has Raikkonen. Raikkonen finishing in 10th place in the end. There's Bertie, our race winner. Is either his 3rd or his 4th race win, I cannot remember. I don't go into these commentaries with notes. I really should. Maybe for next season I shall bring some notes with me so I know how many races people have won and what the points tally is currently. But Bertie goes into pit lane, he goes into Parc Fermé, he's going to celebrate with his team this win. It didn't look likely that Bertie was going to win. It could have been any one of the top 4 that could have won, but Bertie is your race winner of the French Grand Prix. 6.2 seconds was the final gap between Bertie and Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari. Rubens Barrichello finishes in 3rd place. 7.9 seconds was the other Ferrari's gap. Button 4th for the Jordan. 5th place Alonso in the Toyota. But we'll look into more detail of all the drivers as they are shown. I've got to recuperate after that also theatrical French Grand Prix. Can we just have a season of French Grand Prix entirely, please? Because we need more of them. Schumacher inherits 2nd place. Barrichello had to take avoid an action of that Adelaide pile-up. He finishes in 3rd place. Button inherits 4th place pretty much. He's pretty much the inheritor of all these positions. Alonso 5th place in the end after a quick battle with Button. Fisichella was in the middle of nowhere pretty much the entire race and somehow comes home with 6th place. Sauber, more points for Mark Webber. 7th place for the Aussie. 8th place Olivier Panis. 9th place David Coulthard. Panis manages to pass Coulthard in the end, and Kimi Raikkonen rounds off your point scorers. Double point score for Sauber. Jean Alesi finishes in 11th place as Hakkinen is your last finisher in 12th place for the McLaren, and then a long list of retirements. Dinner's suspension failure. The next 3, the big ones. Ralf Schumacher, he could have easily won this race. So could the other 2 of Frentzen and De La Rosa. Frentzen taken out pretty much by De La Rosa, and De La Rosa no braking point, no braking to be able to avoid Schumacher. Schumacher, the unlucky person pretty much of that entire incident. He minding his own business. Young, he had a suspension failure. It looks like Sato had an accident along with Trulli, and Salo took himself out in the pit lane. Now, that is the end of the French Grand Prix. Now, you may be wondering where the standings were in that. The standings coming up now, as I have some news that at least for the next 2 races there will not be any commentary, as I am currently moving house, so I will not have internet at least till the 5th of June, so I won't be able to do the commentary for the next 2 races. Hopefully I will have the internet back for the crunch time of the final 2 races of this season. I would hopefully definitely have internet for the final race of the season, fingers crossed, at least for the second race. But we have a playlist if you want to watch the season that's unfolded so far. Carry on. But for now, I shall see you in at least 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.